Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'm Professor Ritesh Patel, working as Assistant Professor at Institute of Management, Nirma University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India. I have mainly interest in research in the financial markets, financial services, mergers, acquisitions, performances, etc. I've also worked and explored domains of portfolio diversification, benefits, and opportunities for the institutional and retail investors. I have published many papers in ABDC ranked journals, including A category and B category journals. Okay. So nowadays, publication has become very important part. Okay, everybody is looking to have a quality publications. Okay, and that's why today we have this session where I will be explaining you. Okay, along with presentations that how you can prepare your manuscript and how you can move ahead so as you can have a quality publication in the ABDC rank journals. So the topic that we choose is how to publish in ABDC rank journals. To publish in ABDC rank journals. Okay. So publication is a very important thing, and when we come to three dimensions of a work of a professor, that is teaching, research, and consultancy. Research has altogether a different array to go. Okay, teaching is all about whatever we have available with us as a material or a content. We will understand it and we will deliver it to the students in a form that he or she can understand it in proper way. Similarly, consultancy is all about applying your original concepts, your knowledge or applications of the concepts in the real life for solving the problems. Whereas research is all about creating something, a new knowledge. Okay. So what ABTC journals is looking is first and foremost the novelty of your idea. For that, you need to do a little brainstorming on the topic, and then only you can decide whether you can move with this topic or not. Okay? Because the first and foremost things is novelty of your idea. If your idea is novel, then definitely it will be accepted very easily. Okay. So let's move ahead. Okay. So first of all, what should be the content of a paper when you are submitting it for a publications in ABDC rank journals? First, it should have the title of your paper. Okay, the title is based on the study that you have conducted. See, writing a paper is a very synchronized activity, and it is like constructing a building. If you are constructing a building, okay, you are moving from one step to another step, next steps to next steps, and then we'll move ahead again and again, again and again, again and again to another steps. Now when you are moving from one to another steps, okay, that will consume a time and that will require some tremendous efforts to go on. Okay, so in that case, the most important thing that we need to have is your objectives, your titles, your methodology, and your outcome. Everything should go in synchronization. Otherwise, you will get one comment from the editor itself that it is not clear where your paper is heading. So that's why you need to be very, very clear on that. And for that, your title should be very specific and very focused one. You should be very clear on your title. Okay. That will even title you cannot clear in a one day. Okay. You have to do a lot brainstorming. Then after a few days exercise, you will be able to know exactly the title, because see, the title of your paper shows the scope of study. So that's why it becomes very important to have a thorough title for that. Next, you need to go for author details. Okay. So that requires your affiliation and all that details. Okay. Now, next is your abstract. Your abstract is very important for two reasons. Okay. One reason is there because abstract gives you a value added outcome in your study. Okay. When your abstract is taken over there, people through abstract will able to read and understand the crux of your paper, and through abstract only you will be able to explain the gist of your paper very well to anybody. Keywords. Keywords are the words around which your paper is surrounding. Okay, so any topic, it is finance domain or marketing domain, whatever topic you have, okay, your keyword should be such which can justify the outcome of your study in a very well manner. Next is introduction. Okay, that introduction should include what kind of study you have gone upon, what kind of outcome you have gone upon. Okay, what kind of past trend remain in the study, and then you have moved upon. I will be explaining all these topics in detail, just giving you a brief idea. Okay. Next is literature review. So in literature review, we will do a study of past papers. Okay, we know that we want to know that what was already studied and what is still left to explore and all that. Okay. Then we will move to the next point, that is research methodology, which will show that the study has adopted what kind of methodological outcomes. Then we'll move to the data analysis and interpretation, where we will actually apply our data, we will perform an analysis and then decide what to do, what not to do. Then again, we will move ahead in the next way and we will go with the hypothesis testing. Okay. So in hypothesis testing, we will be checking hypothesis. Now see, it's not compulsory to have hypothesis testing in the paper. There are many papers where there are no hypothesis. Okay, so it depends. You may or may not require hypothesis testing, but it is not compulsory to go. Next is conclusion. So conclusion is all about it summarizes the outcome of your study. Okay, and along with conclusion, you should also include the implications of your study. Nowadays, implication become very important because the purpose of research is to explore something new. Okay, like I just give you example. Before 20 years, we had a writing in the economics books that there are three basic needs of human beings. Okay, roti, kapda, and makan. That somebody will need a food, water, and food, clothes, and shelter for as a basic need for their livelihood. Now the basic need doesn't remain only at the livelihood. Okay, it is doesn't remain at the food, shelter, or livelihood. It has extended. Now mobile is a basic necessity. Two-wheeler, at least a two-wheeler, not a four-wheeler, but at least a two-wheeler is a basic necessity. Good medical facility is a basic necessity. Okay, and good education is a basic necessity. Internet is also now a part of basic necessity. So with the passage of time, the need changes, the environment changes, and accordingly the things changes. Now, how this dynamics we can explore through research. Through research, we find that the basic need is still the three basic needs, which was earlier food, shelter, and clothes, or it has extended now beyond. So the answer is it is extended beyond. How I can know? Through study. For that, in conclusion, I need to put implication section where I can know that how it can move ahead. Next is reference. Okay, so references I need to have in APA style or MLA, whatever style is preferred, I need to put it. And then at the last, I will have the annexure. Through annexure, I will be able to know that this particular supporting statements or documents or tables or data as I am putting it. Now, an important question that what should be a sequence of writing a paper. So first decide the area. Okay, that is to be available in the teaching area, that what kind of area you like to explore. See, be very selective in your area. Sometimes what happen, a person belongs to different academic area and they are exploring a different area in research. Okay, your area of research should be the one which is your teaching area. If you are a finance faculty, you should teach only, you should do a research in finance only. If you are a management faculty, then you should do in management. If you are a marketing faculty, then your research should be in marketing. If you are a science faculty, then your research should be in a science domain. Okay, the domain where you have specific research, it should go in that. Like say for example, you are a physics faculty, then your research should be in a physics only. Okay, if you are a chemical engineering faculty, then your research should be in a chemical engineering. Okay, search the journals which is available. Okay, so you need to explore that what kind of journals are available in the topic, in the domain. Okay, because if before you select, you must decide what kind of journals probably you can target for your study. Okay, because through that we'll be able to know whether it will justify the outcome or not. Okay, so you need to search the available journals. Then after whatever journals you are receiving, you need to explore it and you need to decide 2 to 3 journals and you need to read them very carefully, the guidelines of these journals. when you will decide 2 to 3 journals and when you will read the guidelines very carefully, then you will be able to know that how you'll be able to manage it. Now when you decide 2 to 3 journals and when you make it very carefully, you'll be able to know that how it can go. See, first is, if my paper I submit to any journal, if it is get rejected, what I will have a next available option, that I need to think before I start even writing the paper. Because in many time it happens the papers got rejected because the acceptance rate in ABDC rank journals is very less. Due to that, many times the papers get rejected, and when the papers get rejected, it becomes difficult for us to set it in another journal. So before you start writing the paper, at least you decide 2 to 3 journals. So if it is rejected in one journal, in another journal you can fit it. Okay, then you need to read the guidelines very carefully. Why guidelines? Because see, the basic rule in the guidelines is mainly pertaining to the number of words. Okay, some journals are taking up papers up to 4,000, 5,000 words. Okay, some journals are looking for minimum 9,000, 10,000 words. Okay, so you need to decide how it can move, because there can be chance that you have prepared a paper worth 9,500 words. You submitted a journal. The journal has considered it for review. Unfortunately, it may got rejected. Then definitely you need to submit it to another journal where may be possible that they have a maximum limit of 6,000 words. Then see, cutting paper from 9,500 words to 6,000 becomes very difficult for you. So better you select the journals and you go for the guidelines well in advance, because when you will select it and you will go for that in well in advance, that will give you an added advantage that how you can move ahead over there. Okay, then you need to be able to know that what amount of quality they will be looking for. Okay, because of that you will be able to set a benchmark. Okay, then you need to write each part of your paper very carefully. Okay, because see, a single mistake in any one of the section of the paper will definitely leads to a rejection. So remember one thing very carefully, you need 1,000 reasons to accept your paper, but only one reason is sufficient for the rejection of it. So you need to be very, very careful when you are writing each and every section of your paper. You need to take care of that very well, okay, in writing, including English grammar and plagiarism too. First, you need to start with literature review. Okay, you download a certain papers pertaining to the topic that you want to explore, read them thoroughly, do that rigorous review, and then you put it in a format where you can find a research gap over there, so that you will be able to support your research gap, your argument with the past studies, that how it is accepted, how it is considered, why it is not considered. Once you do that, then you move to introduction. Okay, because through introduction we'll be able to link it to the past. Normally the introduction talks about the origin of the topic, its sequences over a period of time. Okay, so that will be able to do very well once you do a literature review. That will make your job little easy. Then you need to focus on research methodology, that what kind of methodology you are following it. Okay, so you'll be able to manage it very well. Through research methodology you will be able to focus that very well, and you'll be able to know that what kind of study you need to have and how you can go about that. Then you need to work on the data analysis part. Okay, and then you need to go for the conclusion, then references arrangement, and then endnotes and annexures if any. After that, you need to write the abstract, and at last, you need to write the keywords. Some journals are also looking for JEL code classifications that you can have once you can have this. One more important thing I like to highlight over here is that For references, it is advisable that as and when you cite any paper in the in the paper, then you can go ahead over there. Okay, then only you can keep it in the requirement. So if you are putting it in application, okay, and you think that you have quoted this paper, better you cite the references at the same point only, so you will not miss any reference. Because number of times journals are also giving comments that the cited references are not matching with the one which is given in the reference list. So better you cross check it very well before it has any issue. What to be do before sending the paper to the journal? Okay, so see, don't be in a hurry to submit it to the journal, because if you will make it in hurry, you may face certain troubles. Okay, so read the whole paper perfectly, check the words and grammar properly. You read the paper properly word to word, you check for the each and every word that you have used, and especially have it clarity on the grammar. Many times the papers has grammatical errors. However, exclusively on the grammatical errors, papers are not rejected. In that case, if the editor and the reviewer feels that the paper has a potential, they may ask you to go for an editing through a professional editor. Okay, in that case, through that editing, they can accept the paper. Otherwise, they are not going to have this. Okay, so you need to read the paper perfectly. You need to check the words, and then after checking it and ensuring it in terms of quality of grammar, you can submit it. Better you prepare the paper considering the grammatical standards of the journals, and then you submit it. One more point you need to clear over here is there many journals are following UK English, and some of the journals are following US English when they are accepting the article. So you need to read it in the guidelines of the journal that what kind of English level they are preferring, UK English or US English, and then after you need to edit it. Review paper with respect to the sample paper. So when you have planning to submit it, when you have put one paper as a benchmark in sample, you need to review it. And when you will review it, you need to read the existing paper, which is a benchmark paper of that journal, with your paper. So you'll be able to know that the whether your paper is able to touch to that quality or not. See, what is there that the paper that you are taking as a benchmark, as compared to that paper, your paper should have higher quality for acceptance. If it is not possible to have higher quality, at least the benchmark quality level that should be there. Okay, update the paper and send it to the journal. So see the requirements, submission requirements well. Many times the paper is rejected on the ground that it doesn't fulfill the journal requirements. Okay, so even you need to see the scope of the journal, that what kind of papers they are considering. Read in the scope very well. Okay, and then you submit it. You need to take few things in a considerations. Okay, first is the select the journal properly before writing the paper. You need to make sure that the journal that you have selected is an appropriate journal for that publication. Okay, many times it happens that the paper that you have selected doesn't fit in the criteria. Okay, and that's why it may go rejected even from the editorial desk. See, when you submit a paper, first editor is going to review your paper. After that, the editor will send that paper to reviewers. The reviewers will do it blind review. They will give you review. After that review, you need to submit the revisions, including the answers to that. And if reviewer feels that this is okay and this is fine, the author has supported all the arguments, then the reviewer will make it accepted. When the reviewer will make it accepted, then only your paper will be out. So definitely this journey is long. It is going to take a time, but you need to select the journal very well. As I said earlier, there are many reasons for the rejections of the paper. One of the prominent reason is that you have not selected a proper journal. Okay, like say for example, I want to conduct a study on the retirement planning of an individual investors. Okay, so for retirement planning, there is a very specific journals like Journal of Retirement. Okay, that I need to focus. In that case, if I will send it in some journal which is generic, may or may not take a paper. So that depends. So you need to scrutinize it very well before you prepare it so that it can go ahead in a proper way. Journals which is indexed in Scopus, Web of Science and ranked by ABDCs are reputed, and that's why it should be preferred. Okay, because that includes a word certain set of benchmark levels, and when they include the benchmark levels, that will help you in boosting your citations and boosting your edge indexes. Okay, so normally Scopus, Web of Science, and ABDC ranked journals, they are representing a high quality standards. So it is advisable to go for that kind of journals when you are selecting it. Normally, the waiting period is 3 to 8 months for the journal, and it can be even more than that also. So don't panic if the paper doesn't give a review on time. You need to be quiet, you need to be patient enough to just see that you get a review. Many times the review is delayed because the reviewer is not available. Reviewer may quite occupied with certain other duties. Okay, so at that time it's difficult to get the review. Okay, and sometimes the topic is such where the reviewer is available, so it can go very easily and it can be manageable as well. But that thing is need to check it very carefully when you are applying it in a real application. You need to decide which kind of software you will use for data analysis and how you will perform the data analysis. So you need to check it very clearly that what kind of software you are going to use it for the data analysis and how you are going to perform the data analysis over there. So you check the software, you examine it properly, because see, any paper whichever you are want to write, you need to see that first the paper requires which kind of methodology and whether that methodology is available to me easily or not. Okay, then you can decide whether you can perform the data analysis over there or not. Okay, so make sure that the software is available. If not required, purchase it and learn it very well. Okay, and then you can go ahead with the further part. How to decide the topic for a study? Most important point. Okay, most important, because your entire paper is depend on your topic. If your topic is failed, then definitely the paper is failed. See, there are many papers which is prepared by author after a long efforts, but they got rejected. Okay, because the topic is not an appropriate. So first you need to see the interest. Don't explore a topic which is not of your interest. Go for a topic which is of your interest, because the topic where you are doing it just for the sake of doing the paper or just to publish it or just for forcefully, it doesn't going to make any sense. You will not able to contribute that much over there due to lack of sufficient interest. So first and foremost you need to have an interest in the paper so as you can move ahead. Second, a little primary preliminary research will also be assure you that there is enough information available on the topic. There are topics where papers is written, but it's very limited information is there. So in that case, it becomes very difficult for you to write a paper on the topic. Now, why there may be two reasons for the information's not availability. First, information reason is that the topic is not explored yet well, and that's why it lacks sufficient literature on the topic. Or there can be a possibility that the topic is not capable enough to be explored. Okay, so that's why it doesn't have a sufficient information available. If required, change the topic or modified it. So it's not compulsory that what topic you thought, you go on the same topic for your research. It's not necessary, because it creates a lot of trouble, and if required, you modify your topic as well. You ask a librarian in case you need some help, because librarian has a strong repository in terms of literature. So you can contact a librarian, you can ask them, and you can have a detailed information from them on what to do, what not to do, and you'll be able to get the information very well. Discuss your topic with your instructor. So you need to discuss about the topic with your supervisor or maybe your co-author, whoever is there. Is not only instructor, but you can even talk to your co-authors to whom you fit that he or she can be a better fit for you in terms of co-authorship. and then you can take it. See, discussion with somebody will help you in looking after it from a different perspective. You may not able to see certain limitations or even a benefits of your topic, but that somebody may be able to explore it, and that somebody may able to make it in a more better way that will enhance the novelty of your topic. Check the availability of data. You need to examine that what kind of data, whether it is available to you or not. So you need to check whether the data is available to you or not. That you need to decide. Okay, because sometimes it happens that you have selected a topic but the data is not available, so you feel difficulty to manage. Okay. How to write abstract. Now I will be going point by point for everything so that you can understand that how I can write a certain points over there and how I can make it. So abstract is a synopsis of your paper. As like in thesis, we have a detailed synopsis. In a paper, the abstract is very limited. So normally, journal has a different rules for the abstract. Like if you just see Emerald publications, they have very structured abstract format. Okay, and some journals are also going for graphical abstract. Some journals are going with text and graphical, both the abstract, and some majority of the journals are going only text based abstract. So what you need to have is you read the journal guidelines very carefully, and then you decide what you should include in abstract, because in many times the editors are either rejecting or accepting the paper for further process based on abstract only. So your abstract is a first show point or entry point of your paper. So write it very carefully. Okay. So do it in proper way so that it can make the things in a more better way. The abstract must include four things. Minimum these four things should be covered in your abstract. First is objective of your paper. Second is the data duration. Third, the analytical tools, and fourth is conclusion. Okay. So you write the objective in a proper way, that what objective you are exploring through this paper, what your data study has, what kind of duration, which analytical tools you have used in your study, and what is the conclusion or outcome of your study. You can even put the implication line, one line or two line for implications, where you can show where your paper has an implication. Don't take abstract lightly. It is very important for your paper, as your paper can be get rejected or accepted both in conference as well as in journal based on abstract. Okay. Normally the abstract has 150 to 200 words as the length, but depend on the journal, it is decided that what kind of abstract you need to have. So I suggest all of you to read at least one Emerald based paper to write a systematic abstract, so that you will get it. Okay. Now not only Emerald, but there are so many other publishing house. They have also started putting the abstract in a more structured way, so that so, because see what happen is that people doesn't have a time to read the full paper, and many times the manuscript are more than 15 pages, 20 pages. Now nobody has the time to read that much long paper. In that case, what they will do, they will read only the paper which is a very basic and the one which has a very limited time. So they will read only abstract, and through that they will judge what is there in the paper, what is there and important for them from the paper. So in that case, it becomes very important for you that you write the abstract in a proper manner. Okay. Spend a good time behind writing the abstract. Write each and every word very carefully. Rewrite if it is required, but write it in such a way so that somebody can know about your paper very easily just on reading the abstract. How to write keywords. Keywords are very important for you people, because keywords can help you in increasing your citation and edge index. Okay. So keywords are the words which reveals your research study. Normally the keywords are the words around which your paper is moving. Like say for example, if I'm conducting a study that portfolio diversification benefits for the investors of developed market from the emerging markets. This is the title of paper. Then what I should keep as a words in my keywords. So first my word should come as a portfolio diversification, because that is a core theme of my paper. Second, I should keep developed markets. so that it can show what kind of market you have explored. Third, I should come with an emerging market. So it can show that what kind of markets you are trying to explore. So emerging, develop, and portfolio. These words I have took. Now what I'm exploring benefit for investors. So let me put word investor. Because see, when you are searching in Google or any portals for a paper, the keywords that you type, okay, based on that keywords only, you will be able to write the things in a proper manner. Okay, so that thing you need to make sure that how it can go ahead. Okay, generally the words of the study is based on the study, and that's why it is taken as a word. So you need to be very careful when you are selecting a particular word. You need to take it in a proper manner so as you can explain it to the level where it can go, where it cannot go, how it can go, everything. Okay, so on the words you need to be very careful, because based on the words that you have kept, if somebody will search, they will be able to know about your words, and they will be able to refer your paper. The better keywords you will reflect, the better will be the search available options, and the better will be a citations for that. Increasing citations will help you in improving your H index too, because nowadays not only the publication is important, but what is a stand of a citation and H index you are having, that also become very important nowadays. Okay, normally 3 to 5 keywords are preferred. However, it depends on journals. Some journals are looking for 6 keywords, 8 keywords also. So accordingly, you can refer the guidelines of journals to decide the number of optimal keywords that you can keep. But accordingly, you can decide that what number of keywords you are planning to keep, and accordingly you can move ahead. But whatever keywords you are selecting, don't think that this is just a word I need to put and so I put it. You think it very carefully that if I will put this word, what kind of outcome I will have, or whether they will see my paper or not, or that. Keywords doesn't play any role in selection or rejection of your paper. It has a role in future download and usage of your paper. That has directly impact on the citations and H indexes. Now, first is how to write introduction. So the introduction must include the brief overview of the topic and the area of study. Okay. So introduction must have an idea that what the topic is and what the area of study is. Okay. So in that case, you need to decide from where to start. Okay. Normally, the some topics are 100 years old, some topics are 30 years old, some topics are just emerged 5 years old. So the time where from frame from where the topic is incepted, you need to go ahead with that topic, so as you can know that how you can move ahead and how you can put it in application. Okay. The introduction of the study must be in your own words rather than directly taking from any web sources. If you are taking introduction directly from the web sources, it will attract the plagiarism part. And when it will attract the plagiarism part, definitely your paper will be rejected from the editorial desk itself. See, there are so many journals in ABDC who are conducting first a plagiarism report, and then they decide whether to go ahead with the paper or not. Okay, so in that case, you need to be very, very careful when you are selecting it. Okay, you can refer the information from the web sources. You have to read it, understand it very well, and then you rewrite in your own words. When you write in your own words, the meaning will not change, but definitely the words will change, its sequence will change. So it will be revealing your own outcomes, your own words, rather than directly taken from somewhere else. Okay. In that case, if required, you put some data as a source and put a web reference as a source. Because normally whenever we are taking an information from internet, we need to code the source. So whenever we have this, we can code the source and we can decide how to move ahead, how to go ahead, and how to put it ahead over there. Okay. So sources wherever is required, you put it. Some data we may need to put, okay, in terms of graph, in terms of outcome and all that. So better you go it and you present it in such way so that it can have. You need to decide also that how you will put the data. Like as compared to tabular data, the graphical data shows a better outcome. Through that, you will be able to know the outcome very well. Like say for example, you want to show a trend on a topic. Then better you show a graph of line chart. Okay, through that we'll be able to show whether the trend is upward, downward, or it is a stable, which you will not able to explain that easily through table. So you need to check it very carefully and then you can put it in application. The introduction should include each area which is covered in the title of paper. That is very important. Okay, like say for example, I'm covering the title portfolio diversification benefits for the investors of developed and emerging market. Then I need to tell what is developed markets, what is emerging markets, and what is portfolio, and what is portfolio benefits. These 4 points I need to cover in my introduction. So whatever topic you are covering, you need to cover the introduction of that in a very well manner. Okay, because then only your paper will stand with a certain quality when you will apply it. Okay. The introduction should also include the research objective and a paragraph on how different parts of the paper covered. So there should be two separate paragraphs for that. One paragraph should include research objective, or you can say what point you want to explore. Okay, and second, a paragraph on how a paper is covered. So you can put it like that, that the section 2 covers literature review, section 3 covers methodology, data analysis is covered in part 4, conclusion is depicted in part 5. Okay, likewise you can put it so that the one who is reading the paper through introduction only, they will get the timeline that how the paper is moving further. Writing this kind of paragraph will make your paper in a one particular flow. Now, how to write literature review? So, literature review must include the name of author, okay, its study, and the duration of data and outcome from that. So, I suggest first to prepare the literature review in Excel. In Excel, you prepare in the format, okay, which includes a serial number, title of paper, author, okay, then its a study topic, then duration, type of data they have selected, methodology they have used, outcome, etc. This will help you in deciding what kind of topic you have explored and how you have explored it. So through that, you will be able to know it in a proper manner. You will be able to take it in a proper manner and you will be able to design it in a proper way. Okay, that how you can put it in applications for that. The study, the duration, the data, and the outcome. These 4 points are very important. And when you will decide it, then only you will have an idea that how you can go and how you can manage it. Okay, because through that we'll be able to contribute significantly to the outcome. Next is the citation of the author in literature review must be done using APA or other method of citation. So for here I suggest that you read the journal guidelines in advance, what kind of reference styles they are preferring. Some journals are going with APA styles, some with MLA, some with Harvard and some with other method. So whatever methodology they prefer, okay, for citations, you go with the citations and referencing both similar way. You do the referencing of your paper simultaneously with that, because if you will miss it, you will have a loss in the future. Okay, so do it simultaneously. Okay, and cite the author's literature in a proper manner. The literature review should be in a hierarchical way. Okay, so you take the earlier studies first, then you need to take the later on studies. Okay, so earlier studies you take, then you take later on studies. Okay, and then you take recent studies. Okay, so that we able to know that in the early period how the topic was explored, later on how the topic has moved in the exploration, and at present how the topic is being explored. We will get a gist idea over there, and we will have an idea that what kind of methodology we should examine and what kind of advancement is done in the topic exploration. Okay, next is the literature review is very important as it can guide you in hypothesis test and data analysis. So you need to be very careful in checking it that it has importance for hypothesis test and data analysis. Okay, because it requires framing the hypothesis as well as data analysis. When you do a literature review, through literature you will know that what kind of hypothesis you can frame, and simultaneously you will know that when you how what kind of data methods you can apply. Okay, but applying a particular test or not, you will be able to justify through literature review only. Okay? Better to do literature review in Excel in a structured tabular format, okay, and then you process for that in the Word file format. So that in a Word file you will be able to make it in a proper way. You will be able to show it that how it can done over there. Most importantly, cover both the aspects of literature, positive and negative. See, there is never a one dimension. There is never a one dimension. There may be other dimension as well. Okay. Like say for example, I give a very basic example. You conduct a study among the customer that increasing in impact income affects how much to increase in spending. We have a basic thought and phenomena that if my income will increase, definitely I'm going to spend more. Okay, so if my income is increasing, will my spending increase? That study I want to conduct among the researchers. Now it's more or likely like that, that majority time the income increase, with that the spending increases also, but it's not compulsory and it's not necessary as well. My income will increase doesn't reveal that my spending will increase to that. So it may possible that sometime people's income will increase but they will not increase their spending to that level, and that's why it will remain negative as an outcome. So in that case you need to explore that why the income increase doesn't lead to increase in the spending. What is the reason? There may be some different reasons for us not spending that much amount. So that can be a new contribution to the field, and from that you may able to get novelty of your idea as well. Okay, so exploration of that can help you a lot in the topic. Okay, so you need to read the literature from both the perspective, positive as well as negative. Okay, normally if the topic is positively skewed, there are very less chance that you will get a negative literature review. But if you will get something out of that, that you will be giving a value added outcome to your literature review section. How to write research methodology? So research objective should be decided in the line of title and the area of study. Okay, so normally when you are conducting a literature review, you need to decide what kind of objective you need to go. Okay, what kind of study you need to focus. So first of all, you need to decide that what kind of objective you want to study. Okay, because objective has a clear cut relation with title, and based on objective only your research method is decided, and based on research method only we are deciding the data analysis outcome. So first you need to decide that what kind of methodology you like to go upon. Okay. For that your objective should be clear, and for your objective your title should be clear. Don't keep too much objective. Okay, and it should be very focused in the line of title and area. Moreover, the research objective should be realistic and it should be clear so as the reader of a paper can understand it. Objective should not be vague. It should be such where it can give you the outcome very well. Okay, it is advisable to keep two or three objective at max, including primary and secondary everything. Don't keep much objective. Many times it happens that papers are rejected because of many objectives. Keeping a small thing in the form of an objective doesn't justify your outcome. Okay, so that thing need to take care very well. If required, you can split the research objective into two parts, namely primary research objective and secondary research objective. Primary research objectives are the one which is the main objectives that fulfills the basic outcome of your study, whereas secondary research objectives are the supportive objectives for the primary research. However, categorization of the topics in a two parts, primary and secondary, is advisable if your topic is such which requires that kind of categorizations, then only you need to do it. First you need to check whether the topic has that much relevance or that can be explored in that detail or not. For that, under a primary research objective, you can put it and you can make a sense. Okay, so and in secondary research objective it can be a supportive one. So you need to decide what kind of objective you need to keep it. Okay, and accordingly you can put it, you can apply, you can decide how you can go about the objective. So you need to be very clear. Now not only objective, apart from that your research methods, your research designs, your research styles, everything you need to decide very carefully. Your research design is basically includes the research directions that you are following. Okay. Then you need to decide whether your research is applied research or basic research. Basic research is all about exploring the topic very the very nascent stage, and application is all about applying some model and examining the crux of that outcome. Okay. So that you need to take care very well. Apart from that, you need to decide sample and all that very well, which I'm coming further. Sample size. The sample size will applicable in case of primary data. The sample size will be applicable in case of primary data, which is primary database study, where the sample size should be selected by using significance level and standard error. So normally you need to know the population of your sample. Okay, that is how much is the population of your study. Normally it's very difficult to study the population. I suggest if you are exploring such a topic where population is very limited, you explore that only. But that is very difficult to move on. So if you are not able to explore the populations, which is normally a case, better you explore the sample. Now in sample, if you don't know the population, then you can take 384 respondents as a sample population. When you are taking 384 respondents as a sample population, you can explore it in a proper way. Many times these researchers are taking a lower sample size like 196 respondents or 266 respondents or 312 respondents based on a different level of significance and standard error. But if you could manage, I suggest you to go for 384 respondents as a sample or 400, whichever is possible for you. Sample frame means who can be my respondent for survey. So you need to decide whether the person will be qualified for being a respondent of the study or no. Then you need to go for research design, which means that the design with which the research is carried out. You have used which kind of research design, exploratory research design or descriptive research design. Then research method, that is it is an applied one or a basic one, which kind of methods you have followed and how you are moving in your study. Okay. Analytical tools means the statistical taste that you have applied in your study. Okay. So you need to see that what kind of analytical methods was studied in the past and how you are studying the method. See, if the one which is studied in the past, along with that, you need to see that what you can apply additionally, and that you need to put it over here so as that will help you in getting the outcome very well. Next is limitations includes the constraints by which your study is limited. It can be of data, time, etc. So you need to put limitations very well. See, every study has a limitation. So please don't tell that there is no limitation of my study. The limitations, when it starts, from there the future research scope starts. So the limitations, either it can be in terms of time frame or the data you have collected or the sample size you have collected or the geographical coverage or demographical coverage that you have for your study. Okay, or the markets you studied, whatever. In irrespective whether the study includes primary data or secondary data, your study always have a limitations, and that you need to put it down very well so as further it can be explored in a detail. Second, further support the research methodology with past date studies. This is very important. Now how you will know this? When you will conduct your literature review in Excel, through that you will know that how you can have your studies and how you can move ahead. Okay, that will give you an idea on how you can take it. Now, how to write conclusion. I'm not considering the part of data analysis over here. Okay, just giving you some brief idea on that before moving to the conclusion. See, data analysis is subjective. Some studies are primary, some studies are secondary. So based on a study, the data analysis differs, and when the data analysis differs, you need to select an appropriate method for your data analysis. So in data analysis, you need to see two things very well. First, the statistical taste or a models that you are applying, that you need to select very carefully when you are applying it over there. Second thing, you need to be very careful in applicability of that particular model. So if there is any prerequisite, better you fulfill it. Like it is said that before you conduct any test, you need to conduct descriptive statistics. Through descriptive statistics, you can check the normality of data, and through that normality, you can decide whether the data are normally distributed or not. If data are normally distributed, okay, or not normally distributed, that you will be able to know through a particular data descriptive statistics that you will do in mean, median, mode, skewness and kurtosis. Based on that, you will be deciding whether you can move ahead further or not. One thing is very important, that if you are conducting a population study, you're not required to do any kind of statistical test, because over there whatever is outcome in the form of mean, median, mode from frequency, that is 100% outcome of the study. But as majority studies are from sample populations, we need to go for conducting the descriptive statistic analysis, that is normality test for that. Then we will have our another test that we can do. But one more thing is applicable over here is there, like if you want to apply factor analysis, you need to check the reliability. Okay, factor analysis, regression, aligned data, if you want to check, you need to check the reliability of your data. For that, you need to do cron-batch alpha. Okay, and similarly, if you are doing regression, then you need to have a correlation to be done as a prerequisite, because if the data that is dependent and independent between which you want to conduct a regression, you need to ensure that the data has a proper correlation relationship with each others. If the correlation doesn't exist, you cannot conduct a regression over there. Okay. Now moving to the conclusion, that how you can write the conclusion. So conclusion includes major findings followed by brief discussion on future perspectives and or applications of present work to discipline. So you need to be very careful when you are writing a conclusion, because see, after abstract, it is only the conclusions which shows the entire crux of your study. So if somebody will read the conclusion, through that they'll be able to know that whether the outcome of this, what is the outcome of study, what the study is all about, and how it has been carried out, and what done, what not done. So conclusion includes the findings of your paper with brief discussions, and that shows the future perspectives, future growths and applications of that. Because in conclusion you are putting implications as well, and then after you are putting a future research directions as well. So that will make a sense when you will put it in applications, when you will apply it in thorough life. Okay. It is important to know that do not rewrite the abstract. Many people are doing whatever they write in abstract, they put in conclusions, or they do vice versa. They either whatever they return in conclusion, they put copy, they do copy paste, and simply they will put it in abstract. So don't do that. See, abstract and conclusion both are separate outcomes of a paper. Okay, so almost their lines are similar, but still maintain some difference between both of them, so it will not look as just copy pasting of each other's, because similarity between both the contents word to word will create an image which is that like it's a copy pasted, that's it. Statements which is using words like investigated or studied are not conclusions. Okay, that we have investigated and studied this is not statement which shows that this is an outcome, is a conclusions. So decide it in well in advance and then you move ahead. Now, how to write references? Okay, so you can write the references for the sources from which you have taken the data. Okay, so the references are the sources where you have taken a data. Okay, and it shows style differs very over there. So at the end of this presentation, I will be showing you that from Google Scholar how you can take these references very easily. Okay. Some journals requires complete title of the cited references. Okay, so the style of references differs from journal to journal, and the citations are different for each and every outcome, whether it is books, notes, research papers, or working papers. For everything, it's a different. Okay, so a different material that we have used as a different method for citations, and at the same time the kind of reference styles that we have used as also vary from journal to journal. So which kind of style we want to follow and how we want to go, that we can keep away. So for a good research paper, the references must be in an APA style, which is available in the MS Word 2007 and higher version. So over there, and basic options is available. One can just put the data and they can capture it over there. That is a one way through which you can capture the data and you can put it down over there, your references. Okay. Apart from that, there is an outcome over there that when you put a papers over there, you can able to capture the references very easily from the Google Scholar. Sometimes the paper that you are referring from the journal itself has given the reference format where you can click and it will be downloaded in the form of notepad where you'll be able to get the reference directly in the writing form. Otherwise, Google Scholar is a best option to collect the reference. Okay, you need to make sure that whatever reference you cited in the paper are being covered over there. Okay, so I'm showing you now the how to capture the references. Before that, I'm winding up with my session and talk over here. Okay. So you can note down my contact details and email ID. In case if you want to reach to me, you can write me an email. I have given my mobile numbers. I prefer WhatsApp messages over there instead of calls, so that I will be whenever I will get a time from my schedule, I will respond to you for your queries. Okay, so that you can connect me over there. Now I'm ending my presentation over here and I'm showing you with the Google Scholar. Fine, I hope it is visible. Okay, so in Google Scholar, you can write a certain topic, like I just write portfolio diversification, Journal of Wealth Management, Ritesh Patel. So you have search a paper. Okay, now you get the papers available very easily. Okay, sometime you write like this where there are so many results comes out over there. Okay, so it will show you many results when you will put it down like this. Okay, so I will put it in very different manner. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I put it in NASDAQ and emerging markets. Okay, this first paper I want, say for example, then I will simply paste the title. The moment I paste the title, I will get the result like this. Now over at the bottom, I have a different available options over there. Over there, it also shows that how many people have cited it. So I can click on the site. The moment I click on the site, I have available options over there. There are 5 styles in which the references are available. First is MLA style, second is APA, third is Chicago, fourth is Harvard, and fifth is Vancouver. So in all these styles, I will be able to get my references very easily. I can copy it and then I can paste it. This is an easiest way to get the reference of the paper rather than typing it or putting it in Word file. You need to copy the paper title and then you can have it. If you know the title, say for example, I know the title and I just put it over like that. Title of paper and then I'm putting the title of journal. The moment I will put the title, I will receive it. Okay, I may have a different results because of a similarity of words, but that I can check which I should go. So this is how one can go ahead when they are selecting a particular topic or an outcome for the paper. So when as a researcher you are starting a working and you are putting your papers and applications, see few points now I like to highlight for tips as a part of tips for the paper. Be patient to the right. don't be in hurry in publishing. Don't think that I want to publish quickly. Quick publications is not possible. Papers are reviewed by journals very carefully. They go for its rigorous review. You need to submit its revisions. They give you time for revisions also. Revisions is also reviewed, so it will take a time. Plus, if you will prepare the paper in hurry, you won't able to bring the quality benchmark at which it should be. So read the papers thoroughly, understand it well, explore the topic to the depth it should be, and then after you will move ahead with that. Okay. And first and foremost thing, whatever topic you want to study, whatever journal you want to take, download certain papers of that, read it very carefully, understand the concept and topic very well, and then only you will move ahead to that. Yeah. At this, I wish best luck to all the participants. Okay, and I wish that they can publish more quality papers in the future. In case you need any help, you need any guidance from me, you can write me on my email and you can drop me a WhatsApp message. Thank you. Taking your leave, wishing you best luck for the future. Thank you.